What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another Daily Deck Tech video, and today we have a viewer request, and that's Ketramose, and we have some interesting conditions for Ketramose today. The individual wanted the deck to be under 300. Look at that, friends! I can come in under budget, and I was able to come in under budget enough to actually put some expensive lands in the land base, so... And then they wanted a cycling or self-discard theme for a bracket 2 or bracket 3. I would say that this is closer to bracket 2. I didn't include game changers in here. But as always, feel free to upgrade and change the list as you see fit. Now, before I get into it, if you like my daily deck techs, historical commander, magic for the working class, discussion content, anything else in between, feel free to subscribe, but only if you feel I've earned it. Now, without further ado, let's get into Ketramose, shall we? So, Ketramose, of course, is one of the new gods from Aether Drift on the old Amon Ket, and it has Menace, Lifelink, and Indestructible. But, you know, it can't attack or block unless there are 7 or more cards in exile, so you got to try to exile a lot of stuff. Whenever 1 or more cards are put into exile from graveyards and or the battlefield during your turn, you draw a card and lose 1 life. This is super duper important. I do have a infinite combo in this deck, so you got to be careful when you activate that to not deck or kill yourself outright. Just please don't do it, friends. Don't be so greedy that you just int. So what we're going to do, obviously, is we're going to try to exile a bunch of things, bring things back, cycle a bunch of stuff to draw us more cards to get us better things. But the first thing I want to do is go through the infinite combo. Now, this combo is going to require Abdel Adrian, Gorian's, is it Warren? I can't tell. His sword's over here, over this on the art. And all I know is his name is Abdel Adrian. And my friend Mitch just actually is using that in the deck. That's where I got the idea. And then Felidar Guardian. And then using any number of things that are like Cloud Shift or Ephemerate. Right? You just need one of the little blinky spells. So with Abdel Adrian, when he enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-land permanents you control until Abdel Adrian leaves the battlefield. Create a 1/1 white soldier creature token for each permanent exiled this way. Okay. You gotta have, Felidar Guardian in play first. Or I suppose you could have the other one in play first. It doesn't matter, as long as one of the two is in play first. And then when Felidar Guardian enters the battlefield, you may exile another target permanent you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Actually, you do want the Felidar Guardian. So what you're going to do is you play your Abdel Adrian, and you are going to exile your Felidar Guardian. So it is, boop, it is gone until Abdel Adrian leaves. Then you are going to Cloud Shift your Abdel Adrian, which brings back Felidar Guardian. And you are going to resolve Abdel Adrian coming back into play from the Cloud Shift first. You are then going to have the Felidar Guardian blink, right? And Abdel Adrian's exile. You'll have, since you get to order triggers, this trigger will go on first. Abdel Adrian will trigger, exiling the Felidar Guardian, and then the Felidar Guardian's trigger will go off, exiling the Abdel Adrian, which will bring back the Felidar Guardian, which then you can blink your Abdel Adrian. You kind of see what I'm doing here, and you stack the triggers. It'll give you essentially infinite ETBs. You'll get a ton of little soldiers. All sorts of things like that. You can just pile it up. Like I said, you got to make sure, though, that you don't deck or kill yourself with Ketramose during that. So that's the combo. It's complicated when it comes down to timing layering in the stack. So if you don't want to deal with that headache, just do things the old-fashioned way. We do have Abdemician Angel in here. I love this card. It's one of one of my favorite cards from the Zendikar block. I love the art on this card, actually. I have a very old playmat with the art on this card. And you know what? I need to rebuild my old Angels deck from way back in the day that revolved around this. But she's a 6/6 for 6, flying. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may exile target non-land permanent other than Abdominion Angel. Sweet. And when Abdominion Angel leaves the battlefield, return all cards exiled with it to the battlefield under their owner's control. So, it's temporary, but landfall's easy. Play the game and exile something until she's gone. Got Angel of Runes, so you can Planescycle her, which, you know, getting lands. The benefit of having so many cycling cards in this deck is that a whole bunch of them are going to do things like swamp cycling, plane cycling, and being able to fix your mana the way you want is really good. And then these cards also usually come with fun abilities. Angel of Ruins, of course, comes with when it enters, exile up to 2 target artifacts or enchantments, which is really good. This is a staple in Commander. It's seen play since forever. Very good. Archfiend of Ifnir. Whenever you cycle or discard another card, put a 1/1 counter on each creature your opponents control. This can cycle, but I would put this in play considering how many cycling cards that we have. It's really, really good. Yeah, just very, very good. And if you manage to draw enough cards to discard at the end of turn, you're gonna pile up 1/1 counters on your opponent's stuff. I put this in one of my decks on Arena, and it was very good. We have Containment Construction. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile a card from your graveyard. If you do, you may play that card this turn. So this synergizes with you pile up cards in your hand with Ketramose. You go to discard, and any other time you have to discard, you know, which there's some looter stuff. You go ahead and you get to play something then. And it went to exile, so you get to draw a card. Charming Prince. When you ETBs, scry, gain 3 life, and you can exile another creature you own, return it to the battlefield under under your control step at the beginning of the under your control at the beginning of the next end step. We have Drannith Healer. Whenever you cycle another card, you gain 1 life, which is always nice. Eagles of the North. When Eagles of the North enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+0 on first strike until end of turn. That is not what you're going to do with this card. What you're going to do is you're going to Planescycle it and get a Planes to your hand. Eternal Dragon, this one's a classic. My friend Dewey played this in his blue-white control and even in the very early days of Legacy for Planescycling. And then you could return it from your graveyard to your hand for 5 to just, like... Old Magic was slow, friends. This card is good. And in a desperate situation, it is a 5/5. For 7, but a 5/5. We already talked about Felgar Guardian. Fiend Hunter, when he enters, exile another creature. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control. We have Flicker Wisp. When it comes into play, remove another target permanent from the game. Return it to under its owner's control at the end of turn. We have Flourishing Fox. You're going to cycle this, or when you do that, whenever you cycle another card, put a 1/1 counter on Flourishing Fox. So you can put this down there and cycle other cards and just make it really big. We have Helpful Hunter. When it enters, draw a card. You know, same with Spirited Companion. You can have these little blink dudes. Knight of the White Orchid is going to get you Plains and put it onto the battlefield. Note that it doesn't have to be a basic Plains. Lion Sash. You can exile a card from the graveyard. If it was a permanent, put a 1/1 counter on Lion Sash, and the equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each 1/1 counter on Lion Sash. And you can reconfigure it, right? It's a creature, but you can also turn it into an equipment. We have Marlborough. What? Somebody from who knows Final Fantasy is going to have to tell me why there's a cigarette monster. I don't know if that's how you spell the cigarettes. I don't smoke, but it's Marlborough. Okay, we have this. I'm just going to call it the cigarette monster here. It swamp cycles. That's what you're going to use it for, is to get a swamp. But when it enters, each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life and exiles the top 3 cards of their library. You could also, I suppose, play this and then blink it repeatedly. But if you are stuck between a rock and a hard place on your lands, use it for swamp cycling. Felia, Whenever it attacks, exile up to one target non-land permanent at the beginning of the next end step. Return that permanent to the under its owner's control. If it entered under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Thalia. Psychosis Crawler. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. So while you're pinging yourself for 1 while exiling a bunch of cards, also ping your opponents. We have Servandum, Sunstar, Exemplar. Can I just take a moment to appreciate everything that was Edge of Eternities, the 80s style, 80s and 70s style sci-fi art is just fantastic. Vigilance and Menace. Whenever another creature you control dies or is put into exile, put a 1/1 counter on Servandum, and you gain 1 life. This is a way to counteract. If you have it in play with your Felidar and Abdel, counteracts the loss of life, then you just got to worry about decking yourself. Whenever it dies or put in exile, while its power is 4 or greater, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. So you could grow it too, and then blink it, and then destroy things. Timeless Dragon. This is a much better take on Eternal Dragon. Plane cycling, you can eternalize it to bring it back from your graveyard as a 4/4 zombie, and it flies. Troll of Khazad Doom. This thing absolutely shreked Legacy for a time until this common got banned. It was in Reanimator because it has like Super Menace, and in a 20 life 1v1 format, having to be blocked by 3 creatures is very, very strong. But it swamp cycles. It's also a 6/5 beat stick if you want it, but getting a swamp to your hand is good. Valiant Rescuer. Whenever you cycle or another card for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token and you cycle for 2. Vile Manifestation gets +1/+0 for each card with cycling in your graveyard, cycling for 2. And, of course, Withered Wretch. This is a really good one. It just eats people's graveyards. Exile target card from a graveyard. Just keep eating people's graveyards. For 1, this essentially says, pay 1, draw a card, lose 1 life. We have a Chroma's Vengeance. You can destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. You can also cycle for 3. Avatar's Wrath. This airbends everything, and then your opponents can't cast stuff from anywhere other than their hand during their next turn, which is until your next turn. It's really, really good. Just great overall. Target player draws 2 cards, loses 2 life for Sight and Blood. Unearth. It's a reanimate spell. For our instance, we have a bunch of cycling stuff and a bunch of exile stuff, right? A Chroma's Blessing. You can either give your creatures protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Hey, this is when a Chroma still had legs. Fun fact for you in the lore. A Chroma actually loses her legs. And I think they use, have blades as legs eventually. But right here, a Chroma still has her legs. They gain protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. You can also cycle it. So discard it, draw a card for 1 white. Angel's Song is a fog, but you can cycle. Anguished Unmaking, D-Spark, where is it? Swords and Path are in here for removal. There's also Easy Prey, destroy target creature of converted mana cost 2 or less. You can also cycle this card. We have Beckon Apparition, remove target card in a graveyard from the game, put a 1/1 white spirit, white and black spirit creature token with flying into play. I think this is an Eventide card. Yeah, Eventide's that set. We do have our standard blink spells like Cloud Shift, Ephemerate, and Ghostway in here. We have Coffin Purge, remove target card from a graveyard from the game, and it can also flash back. Expunge, destroy is removal that you can cycle. We have Fade from Memory, remove a card from in a graveyard from the game. You can also cycle this. Funeral Pyre, remove target card in a graveyard from the game. Its owner puts a 1/1 white spirit creature or creature token flying into play. This card was in the very first pack of Magic that I ever opened, along with this rare Silver Seraph, the only card that I keep in like a fancy hard sleeve. My very first rare in my very first pack of Magic and Judgment. We have Guided Light. You gain Shroud until end of turn. Very useful effect, but if you don't need it, you can cycle. Rapid Decay, cycle, and remove from the game up to 3 target cards in a single graveyard. So, removing cards from the game or cycling if you've already removed everybody's stuff. Scarab Feast, exile 3 cards from a single graveyard or cycle it. Shadow of the Grave. Return to your hand all cards in your graveyard that you cycled or discarded this turn. This is really, really, really good in this particular niche. I have a million of these in my like bulk stuff from Amon Ket. And yeah, just extremely, extremely strange. Yeah, odd. Now, odd card, but very good here. Vanishing Verse, exile target monocolored permanent, wipe clean. Oh man, old cards had cool art. Remove target enchantment from the game, or you can cycle it. I'm super glad that when I was researching on Scryfall that there were so many cards that both exiled things and you could cycle, so you get dual effect out of them in this Ketramose deck, which wants to be thematic with cycling. We have Conjurer's Closet for Blink. We have Fluctuator. Cycling abilities cost up to 2 less to activate, which is always nice. Cycling for free is super fun. I've never tried this in a cycling deck. I've never been super into cycling, but one of the people I've played with on Spell Table ran a cycling deck with this card, and it was nutty. It was an Esper deck. We have Ghost Vacuum. You exile things from graveyard. You can pay 6 to bring those creatures back as 1/1 spirits. Monument to Endurance. Whenever you discard a card, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Draw a card, create a treasure. Each opponent loses 3. Scrabbling Claws. Target player removes a card in his or her graveyard from the game. Sacrifice Scrabbling Claws. Remove target card in a graveyard from the game. Draw a card. Always fun. Enchantments. Airbender's Ascension and Teleportation Circle for Blink. We have Astral Slide. Whenever a player cycles a card, you remove target creature from the game. If you do, return the creature to play. So this is a way to cycle Blink. Astral Slide decks are crazy. They do some really bonkers things in constructed formats. I strongly encourage you to look up some of the old constructed Astral Slide decks. And then we have Astral Drift, which you can cycle itself. And whenever you cycle Astral Drift, or cycle another card while Astral Drift is on the battlefield, you can exile a creature. If you do, return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So a much more tame version of Astral Slide. Lands, we have a ton of cycling lands. See them all? I threw most of them that I could find in here. But since the budget was so cheap, since cycling cards aren't usually too expensive, I was able to throw in the 2 or more opponents lands, the buddy lands. I was able to throw in shock lands, etc. You know, like Beachbone Verge here and stuff, which was pretty nice. And then, of course, we also have Bajuka Bog to exile. Things that you could swap out. You could swap out a few cards to add things like Relic of Progenitus, Tormod's Crypt, and Stone of Eric into your artifact slot to mass exile graveyards. Alrighty. That is the deck. Let's go ahead and see how it plays, shall we? Zoom out by 1. All right, we're going to draw for our turn. We've got, what, 3 lands? We don't have any 1-drops, so I'm going to do this. We're going to Surveil. You know what? We're going to keep this on top. And then next turn, we're going to go ahead and we're going to play Vault of Champions. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to discard this card to Planescycle. To search our library for a Plains card. Notice, it doesn't say basic. So we're going to go, and we're going to go like this, and we're going to find our Godless Shrine. Where are you, Godless Shrine? There we are. We're going to put that into our hand. There we go. And we still have a mana up, so we can Swords to Plowshare something. Next turn, we're going to pay the 2. We're already sitting rather well. We're going to play our commander. Sure, it can't attack or block yet, but we've already got a bunch of stuff that we can start doing, which is always fun. You know, we can start cycling some stuff. If somebody's been playing a bunch of spells, we'll say somebody's been playing a bunch of spells. We're going to remove 3 cards from a graveyard. So we're going to 1, 2, 3. We're going to draw, and we lose 3 life. We have all of this in hand. We're going to discard at end of turn because we have 9 cards in hand, which is fine. We have enough lands probably to do our stuff. I'm probably going to get rid of this card and ooh, this is tough. Wait, no, I don't need to do this. I'm silly. I'm gonna sword something, which is gonna draw me a card. See, because whenever one or more cards are put into exile from graveyard to the battlefield during your turn, so we're replacing it. We're just gonna keep doing as much as we can, right? Yeah, now we're gonna discard. Move to discard step. I don't have a creature I want to bring back. Oh, I'll do that. Next turn, we draw. We're gonna put down a swamp. We're gonna play Conjurer's Closet. Sorry about all the clicking. My 7-year-old Chinese mouse is just struggle busing, friends. We're going to play this down. And we may as well play our Abdominion Angel at this point. Next turn. We can cycle some stuff now. Well, first, I'm going to remove target card in a graveyard. So we go this. We go down by 1. Honestly, we're going to play Psychosis Crawler. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. Next turn, we're going to like this. We're going to play Swamp. I'm going to cycle this to draw a card. And we're going to Swamp Cycle the Troll of Khazad-dûm. Put this into play because we haven't played land this turn. And then we can do things like this. You kind of see the gist of it, right? It's pretty low to the ground. It has a lot of room for upgrades, so feel free to do so. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, I'm Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.